Well, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this morning I've come to a place that I've driven past for years and years and years, and I was heading to Inverness one day and I thought, I wonder what it'd be like to stop off there. So join me this morning. I'm in a little place called Dalnaspindle near Loch Garry. So join me and let's see where this journey takes us this morning. So as I'm walking along the road, you can see the railway there. That's the Northern Railway line that takes you up to Inverness. And there's about 27 trains pass here every day. So, and further down, between those trees there, that's Loch Garry. So what we'll do is we'll walk up to the top of this hill and then we'll walk down and we'll just see how far it takes, because the location I want to go to is on the other side of the road, but the sun's not there yet. So that tunnel there that goes right under the main A9 up to Inverness is the tunnel that I want to get to kind of go through to get to the other side of the road, because it's a really busy road and it's quite dangerous to cross. So I was going to see if there was a way to go over there, because that'll be my eventual destination. Well, what I might do is, that's actually quite pretty just now and the sun's not around and it's not strong enough to kind of burn out the highlights of the water. So I might take a couple of images here, and then there's the railway gates just down here that takes you down to Loch Garry. But I won't go that far yet because the sun is going to be in position in about just under an hour of where I need it to be, so that I can take the shots that I'm here for. Right, let's see if I can get some shots of this waterfall. Alright, so what I'm trying to do is just focus in on the waterfalls way up here, and then I'll try and work my way further down and I'll try and get shots shooting up. But for this composition, what I'm trying to do is get the waterfall but also get the tunnel in the frame as well, and then I've got the bottom left hand side of the fir tree. So I'm trying to slow the shutter speed down enough that I'm not burning out the highlights of the tree. So I've got a 1/10 of a second f8 ISO 100. I'm focusing in right at the side of the falls on those rocks, and then that way I can get the milky smooth water, but not too milky. So I'll take a couple more shots and I'll do a portrait shot as well, and then what we'll do is we'll move down there, but I'll show you these images before I head down. Alright, so I've made it down to the bottom of these falls. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to take various different shots. I'm getting some strong sun, so I've reduced my shutter speed to 1/8 of a second. I'm still shooting at f8, I've got ISO 100, but this time I've put a polarised filter on. And I've put the polarised filter on so I can start to see through the water, but also to take the glare off the pine tree, because the pine tree is going to have some really strong highlights because of the sun. And the other thing I noticed as I was walking down, there's a path underneath the road next to the burn here. So I'll just walk under the path to get to the other side, to get to the shots that I've always seen at the side of the road. And yeah, I'll take these. So what I'll do is I'll do a number of wide shot landscape. I'll turn the camera around to portrait and I'll take a number of portrait shots. I'll zoom in, I'll zoom out, and I'll share those images with you now. Let's walk through the tunnel. Pretty cool actually. If I turn round, you'll get to see the view. If I turn the camera around a wee bit slowly, you can see the burn coming to the left hand side. I can imagine when this water's in full spate, this walkway will be impassable. But let's get to the other side and I'll share with you what I see when I drive past all the time. we come to the end, you'll see that little hut up there on the left hand side. So I've been waiting for the sun just to come up over the mountains so it just lights up the waterfall enough. And what I thought would make a nice composition is that hut and the waterfall. And I've got just the right light just now, so I'll get set up, and what I'll try and do is take different compositions, because what we don't want is that piling in the picture if we possibly can. So I'll have to go high and low. I might have to go close, but yeah, what I'll do is I'll get set up for my first composition. Alright, so for this image, I'll turn the camera around and you can see. So what I'm looking to do is try and isolate the shed and get the waterfall in the same composition. But if I lower the camera, so that's the kind of view I'm trying to get, so that I take out the piling. Now I'm at the side of the road, but the other thing I've noticed is when I stand here and I take these images, that little tree's in the way. So my plan is, if I could kind of work my way up over the top of this tunnel here and see if I can get a higher elevation that allows me to take a shot over the tree. And then what I could do is work my way around and try and get closer to the hut and see if we can get some shots that way. And then what I can also do is walk this side, so as the sun comes round, it'll start to lift some of these shadows, and that'll be better for a kind of face-on shot. But what I want is the angular shots first, because I want to shoot into the shadows, because if I need to I can lift those shadows and it'll make a better composition. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of shots here. I'll share with you just now the images I took. So I'm just climbing up the top here because I'm watching my feet, because I've got my wellies on and I don't want to slip on the moss. So if I try and set my camera up here, I've got a different composition right enough. It's quite nice. I'm just looking to see what I've got here. Right, so if I go wide and do a wide shot first, so right, so here's what I have in front of me. So I do have the tree, and the tree's moved to the right hand side. It's a wee bit further forward, but I'm not completely clear of the tree. So I'm still shooting at 1/8 of a second because I want to smoothen out the water. I've upped my f-stop to f13. I'm just checking my footing. So the other thing I've done, because the sun is so strong, I've put an ND 0.6 grad filter in beside the polarizer as well, and I've set my camera to a 2-second timer just so that I'm not holding onto the camera and causing vibration, which might make the image out of focus. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit further and get closer in, see if I can get a tighter crop, and then see if I can get a tighter shot of the hut and the falls. I'll then switch the camera over to portrait. I'll do different views and I'll share those images with you. Alright, so this, I've got a higher elevation to the side of the road, but you'll also notice it's not something I do very often because it doesn't make the camera very stable. But there's a fence in front of me, and no, regardless of where I stood, that wire was going in front of my image. So I've lifted the neck of the tripod so I can get closer. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to try a different shot. So I'm just experimenting. I'm taking different shots, a different viewpoint, and I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully one of them will be a winner. And the only challenge with this location as well is this is not a sunrise location and it's not a sunset location, because the sunrise is over here in the east and the west is behind those mountains. So I've driven here late at night as the sun's going down and it's always in shadow. So I thought I'll come early in the morning just as the sun was lifting so that I'm not getting too much burnout. And then let's see, well, hopefully these images turn out, and I'll share these images that I take up here with you just now. I'm just walking along the edge of the road, and as you can see the view. So what I'm going to do is walk down the edge of that fence and see if I can climb over, and I'll look for an area that I can get through, and I'll catch back when I'm at the side of the hut. Alright, so as you'll see, I'm here beside the fence. However, oh, there's all these things, especially when you've never been to a location before, you learn so much. I can only see the top half of the falls. However, that's not going to stop me, so I'm going to take a photograph of this 3/4, well, it's kind of more of the side, a bit of the front door, and then I'll try and catch the top of the falls, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of move round and see. So I'm obviously not going to get a higher elevation shot here that I thought I would, and then what I'll do is I'll find a crossing across the river, and I'll work my way back along the other side, and I'll take shots facing it. But what I'll do before I go is I might nip down to the side of the burn here and then take some shots of the falls themselves. But I'll take this image first, and then what I'll do is once I've taken this image, I'll share that with you. So I've come up to the side of the hut now, and I'm going to get a closer shot. So what I want to do is I want to focus on the door, because there's a lot of character in the door because it's well weathered. But here's what's going to happen. I'm shooting at f13 because I'm shooting at f13 with a higher f-stop to keep my exposure down for the water, because I'm still shooting at 1/8 of a second, but the waterfall's got to be out of focus. So what I'll have to do is a photo stack. So I'll take two images. I'll take one image of the shed door, I'll then refocus on the waterfalls, and then I can bring those two images together to get a tack sharp image. So what I'll also do is I'll do some wider shots, I'll do some close-up shots, I'll turn the camera over into portrait mode and see if that works. I might be too tight for that, but we'll give it a bash and we'll see what happens. And when I've done all that, I'll share those images with you now. Alright, so I've come down to the side of the burn, and as you'll see behind me, I've got the waterfalls just there. I'm not going to set up the camera because there's not a lot of space here. So what I'll do is I'll take these images and then I'll share those images with you now. That's us at the top of the falls. I'll just swing the camera around, and up here is somewhere where we're going to try and find a place to cross over. So we'll catch up on the other side. Alright, I've managed to cross the river, but what I've found is I'm in the shade. There's actually quite a nice dark contrast between the shade and the frost and the little shed. So I'm just going to take a couple of shots here. If they work out, I'll share them with you. If they don't, I'll catch up with you at the other side. Alright, so I'm above the falls now. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get a nice wide angle here. There might be a wee bit of distortion, but I'll give it a try. But what I'll also do is I'll do a panoramic image, and I'll take 4 or 5 images, and I'll do a panoramic. I'll get the snow in the mountains as well, and I'll stitch them together, and if that works out, I'll share that image with you just now. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just take various other shots of being above the falls on this side, and yeah, I'll share those images with you now. Alright, so I've now worked my way 360 degrees back to where I started. I've just come further up. So what I'll do is I'm just going to take some shots of the falls. So the other thing is I'm conscious of the kind of radio mast that's right across from me. And I'm also conscious that where I'm standing, the sun's casting my shadow into the water. So I'm having to do close-up shots. And then anything that I want later on of a wider view, I'll need to make sure I'm standing down there outside of the sun. But what I'll do is I'll take shots of the falls face on. There's a nice shot of the hut face on here with the water coming out a pipe flowing into the water, so that might make a nice image. I'll look for other out compositions where we've got some leading lines going on, and when I finish with them, I'll share those images with you. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my long lens on just now and take some shots with a long lens, because where I am at the moment, the position's not that brilliant, because as soon as I look at the shed, the radio master's right behind it. So what I'll do is I'll put the long lens on, I'll take some shots, I'll try and get some leading lines up towards the falls, and when I do, I'll share those images with you now. Alright, so I've taken a few more shots with a long lens and I went low down, so I'll show you those images as well. But this burn is called the Corrie Sith, and this burn originates from the Gake and Drummochter passes and comes all the way down, and then it eventually confluences with the River Garry. So I think I'll end the video here. So here's hoping we can make a video out of it, and if we can, I hope you like it. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because you know it's free. And if you press the bell notification, that'll let you know the next time I post a video. So thanks very much for watching, and here's to the next video.